Gemma, thank you so much for your time. Gemma, we keep hearing about this looming humanitarian crisis in the Horn of Africa. When you look at the situation at the moment, how close would you say we are to the danger point?
Thank you so much for having me, Lindy, and for featuring this story. I would say we are at the danger point where this is not a looming crisis. We are talking about a crisis where across Somalia, Ethiopia, and Kenya, more than 15 million people are waking up right now, every single day, hungry and unable to find the food that they need to survive. That is, that they are severely food insecure. In Somalia alone, nearly 6 million people are facing crisis or worse levels of food insecurity, and that is the highest that we have ever seen these numbers in Somalia, even higher than during the 2016-17 drought or the 2011 famine. So we are at the danger point right now. We have women and girls across the region who are having to walk further and further distances to access water. That means they're exposed to gender-based violence. Likewise, women who are delivering babies are exposed to heightened risk of disease because of lack of access to safe water, either at home or in health facilities, increasing their risk of death. And I could go on and on, Lindy, but we are at the danger point with this crisis right now.
Certainly very worrying indeed. Gemma, you mentioned 15 million people in the region waking up hungry. Tell us, how are they responding to this situation? And what are organizations such as yours doing to help address just the plight that these people find themselves in?
Absolutely. So we have been working on this crisis with the governments in the region for these past months, because we are now at, Lindy, not the first, not the second, not the third, but right now we're facing the prospect of the fourth failed rainy season, which would be truly unprecedented in the Horn of Africa. So we started working on this many months ago. And what are we doing? Well, across the region, we've reached more than 6 million people with assistance, but I spoke about 15 million people who are in need, so that gap is still huge, but it's everything across the spectrum, from enhancing the work that we're doing to prevent gender-based violence, to every single day making sure that families, the most vulnerable, have access to food, to water. That can take many forms. It could be in the form of cash assistance, which of course gives families increased dignity in the way that they choose how they meet their own needs. But where markets are not functioning, and I heard the stories you were relaying earlier about the food price rises in the region, we're also delivering food, we're delivering soap, we're delivering all of those basic necessities that families need to survive. And I should say, it's not just the United Nations, it's community-based organizations. If I look here in Kenya, in the north of the country, it's the Kenyan Red Cross, it's organizations like the ASAL Humanitarian Network, and then it's the international non-governmental organizations as well. So across the full humanitarian spectrum, we are absolutely mobilized to respond to this crisis.
Certainly sounds like all hands on deck. Gemma, I know you're in Nairobi, as am I. We've seen some rain over the past week. Do you think the current rains being witnessed in the region might help to alter these food security dynamics?
I wish that were the case, Lindy, but to be honest, what we've seen in Nairobi is, first of all, not representative of what we're seeing across the region. And second of all, as you know, it's coming very late. These rains should have started in March, and we're just starting to see them come in now. So in parts of Kenya and also parts of Somalia and Ethiopia, we're already looking at the prospect of this season, this fourth consecutive season, being inadequate, being below average, and the rains being either too sporadic or too late to make a difference. And what that means is, even if these rains had have been good, we still would have had 6 months of responding to people in need, that 15 million people figure. But because these rains are not good, what we're actually talking about is not only will the situation not get better, it will get worse. And we are going to have many more people across the region in need of assistance in these months ahead. So we will continue to hope that the rains come. Even if they come late, that's better than nothing at all. But they are late and they are not enough.
Very worrying set of circumstances. Thank you so much, Gemma Connell from the UN's Office on Humanitarian Affairs.